So, next, oh my God, flexible working rights. So I'm just conscious of time here as well, everyone. So I want to make sure we're remaining on point, but I don't want to do that at the cost of obviously going through some of the important things we need to remember here. So flexible working rights. Flexible working rights obviously have been in place in one guise or another for quite a long period of time. And the tweaks and changes that have normally happened has been around who has the right to be able to apply for flexible working. So it used to be people that were carers, or obviously if you were pregnant, go through maternity leave and stuff along those sort of lines. Then that changed to everybody had the right to be able to request. And now what they're doing is they're changing the time frame. So previously, right now, you have to go through a process of working with an employer for 26 weeks, 6 months, that you have to be an employer continuously with before you can actually put in a claim for flexible working. And just to put that into perspective, that's someone formally coming forward and making a request to alter, say, for example, to go to 4 long days, condensed hours. There's an example, right? So you could put that forward, but you'd have to have worked with that employer for 26 weeks before you could. One of the things that this is proposing to change is that it's looking to put that in place from day one. So from the very point an employee comes and starts working with you, they have the ability to request formally the right to work flexibly. One of the common themes that you'll tend to find around that will be, I don't know, working from home. So that's going to be a common one that's going to come proper. So in terms of that, the other key thing that's going to change there potentially is at the moment in time, you can only request to work, a formal flexible working request once in every 12 months. The key difference with this is that would increase to twice every 12 months, every 2 months, every 12 months. So just to recap on that, you can request flexible working from day one. This hasn't come into law yet, by the way. These are things that could potentially be coming in this year. So just to caveat that, I've got another point to make on that before I forget as well. So you can make that request potentially from day one, and you'll be able to make more than one request. You'll be able to make 2 requests in any 12-month period. So some quite significant changes there in terms of those different bits and pieces. And in terms of that, there are going to be some other tweaks. Just conscious of time, my God. So there are going to be some other tweaks around the edges in terms of that, in terms of obviously the formality to be able to respond. It's going to reduce from 3 months to 2 months in terms of those different bits when people put forward those flexible working rights, requests to work flexibly. And the other thing I just want to touch on here is the difference between employment bills that the government are raising and bringing in and bills that are potentially private members' bills. So a private members' bill could be someone from the opposition or the House of Lords that could bring something forward. And if it's supported by the government, it's likely to be put through. So this isn't something on their natural agenda under the King's speech. I'm getting there. Under the King's speech that come into force, these are private members' bills. And flexible working is potentially one of those that we're talking about at the moment in time. But if that comes into place, that's something that for employers, we need to be really aware of, precisely because of one of the reasons that we all know about right now, which is a request to work from home. That's the most common one and thing that's going to come forward. By the way, with all of these things, the law is not sexy. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to jazz this shit up. It's hard to make this like, yeah, employment law, woo, let's go. No one in their right mind is reading this with any great enthusiasm in their minds whatsoever. It's just part of the world that we live in that we have to know it, right? So this is really, really hard to kind of make sexy, but it is really important. So if you are watching live, please bear with me as we work our way through. There will be other ones that might be really personal to you that we'll be bringing up.